everyone. Katie Davis, coming to you live from Golden Womb Reiki. I am a registered nurse and intuitive healer with some important messaging today. I'm going to invite everyone to contemplate something novel, new idea perhaps. I want you all to consider whether or not your interactions with others and the world are perpetuating old cycles of mistrust, of hatred, of victimization and suppression, or whether or not we are creating new pathways of love and of acceptance and of peace and of balance and equality. I'm calling on the warriors of the world, the healers of the world, those who are light workers, and those who feel drawn to stand up and to take action in some way. And those of you who are hearing this right now, as I've just posed this thought to you, may have an immediate reaction of, well, my intentions are only good and only pure, and I only want to help in the world. So your answer might be that you're creating new pathways of love, acceptance, peace, and equality. And I don't disagree that that is the intention. Though I invite each and every one of you today to take a look, and myself included, at where we can improve. So I'm going to give you two examples of what I'm referring to. Let's take the victim and the bully. Okay, these are two archetype personalities that are showing up very prevalent in society today. And I invite you to take a look at how you are either interacting with these individuals or how you are observing them even, because either way, you're having an impact on the world. And so we're going to explore this today. So let's take the victim first. And I will say that in my world, there are no victims. The individuals that you might label as a victim, I see as individuals who have not yet realized their power and their potential. And sit with that for a minute. When we look at an individual who has been perpetrated by a crime, how do you interact or observe these individuals? For example, are you looking at them with sympathy? Now, first blush, you're thinking that's a good thing. Sympathy is good, and you're not wrong, yes. Sympathy is an expression of love from the heart. Though I invite you to see that there is a path that is of a higher vibration of love. Okay, so let's go back to the idea of sympathy. When we are sympathetic with someone, our face starts to interact with that individual, as though you're mirroring the feelings that they have for themselves right now. So they're in a place of victimization, and what you're doing is making an angry face. You're angry or you're sad in response to whatever they're feeling, right? So you're saying yes to the victimization. You're saying you have every right to feel the part of the victim. And again, I want to be clear that that is an expression of love. But I invite you to see that there is an expression that is a higher vibration of that love. I invite you to take a look at the path of being empathetic. Because when we're empathetic towards an individual, we are saying, I feel you. I'm here with you. I will walk beside you. I understand how difficult this must be for you. But you are also saying, I believe in you. With your eyes, there's a peace that comes about you that tells that individual in one moment that everything that they need to know about how to rise up out of that situation and that experience, how to come into their power instead of sitting down in the victimization of that experience. We have an opportunity here. We have many opportunities here to take a look at our part in this world right now. As we all know, and we've all heard many times before, you cannot change others. You can only change yourself. And in shifting the way that we interact with the world, we can have a very profound impact on how that individual we're interacting with either steps up into a new form or steps back into old cycles of the mistrust, the hatred, the victimization, and the suppression, and all of those lower vibrations that keep us from maximizing our fullest potential. We have an incredible opportunity here to be powerful. I know many of you right now are looking at everything that's happening in the world and feeling like there's nothing that you can do. This is the answer. This is what you can do. This is how you can help. By observing and monitoring every interaction that you have with every individual, and you ask yourself objectively and honestly, is the energy message I am sending out right now of the highest and purest vibration of love? Is the message that I'm sending out right now to this individual one that is going to lift them up and help them to rise? Or is my messaging one of suppression and keeping with those old cycles? I know this is not intentional, but I invite you to take a look. And I have been guilty of this as well, until I have identified it, in which case I very quickly shift back into focusing on what works. So now let's take the example of the bully. Again, in my world, there are no bullies. There are only individuals who have yet to realize their power with balance. With love. And again, I see opportunities here for each and every one of you who are listening today to take a look at whether or not you are perpetuating the old cycles, or you are helping to empower an individual and raise them back up into the truth, which is light and which is love. That is the truth. Which are you doing? Like I said, there are so many who are called to action right now in this world. And your intentions are so good. And your intentions are so pure. And I know that the end game, ultimately, is of peace, right? It is of love. It is of creating space on earth we can all be happy with. But are we looking with the myopic view of things? Can we expand our view and see a greater potential here? The bully needs as much love as the victim. I invite you to see that when you are placing your attention, and you warriors of the world, I love you so much, and I'm one of them myself. But I invite you to see that when you are placing your attention on that which you don't want, you're drawing more of what you don't want. The laws of the universe, if you know anything about this, tells you that wherever you place your energy and your attention, wherever you place your attention, energy will flow. The universe wants to give you a yes answer. So if you are placing your attention on fighting against, for example, injustices of the world, intolerance, hatred, bigotry, any of that, if you're placing your attention on that, you're going to get more of what you don't want. I invite you to take a look at what you are fighting, whether you're fighting against something or whether you are fighting for something. I invite you to see that we want peace and love and tolerance, and that is where we need to place our energy and our efforts and our attention. I want to fight for peace. I want to fight for justice. I want to fight for balance in the world. I want to fight for love, universal love of everything and everyone. But we need to be careful of where we're placing our attention and our energy, because we are so powerful. We are powerful co-creators of this existence and reality. Is there better messaging? I just invite you today to take a look at that. We want to feel empowered in our lives, and we want to feel as though we are doing our very best to help in whatever way we can. And I'm telling you, this is how you can help. Simply observing objectively what messaging you are sending out to the world, whether they're small interactions or whether they're big actions that you take to fight. And by the way, I want you to fight. I want you to get out there and I want you to fight. But I want you to fight for what you want instead of what you don't want. Fight for love. Fight for peace. Fight for heaven on earth. We have the ability and the potential to create whatever we choose. And it starts with us, each individual. There's nothing more powerful than self-leadership, emotional intelligence, identifying where we're at in any given moment and adjusting and shifting. How does that make a difference in the world? It makes every difference in the world, because every moment of every day and every interaction that you have with any individual, you are sending out shockwaves of potential for creation of new pathways. And if our thoughts and vibrations are not in alignment with love and the creation of it, then all we are doing is perpetuating the old cycles. We want to create peace on earth. I know that is the goal of every single one of you who is listening today. And we will, we can, we must. But this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it together, and we're going to do it one moment at a time. I invite you to just be aware of where you're at any given time, any given moment, and ask yourself, am I creating love or am I perpetuating the old? If you need help with this, contact an energy healer to help you break some of these old cycles. We all have attachments to what feels comfortable with the old. If you want to know and learn how to break with these old patterns, you can contact any energy healer that you feel drawn and connected to. It doesn't have to be me, though I can help. And I'm going to be very soon unveiling and rolling out a new mentorship program. So stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions along the way, please reach out, ask, just shoot me a private message or set up a consultation, and we'll help figure out what needs to be parted with. Thank you all for listening today with open hearts. I'm with you, walking right beside you. Deep bow to every one of you. So much love coming to you from Golden Room Reiki.